and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I am your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, the squad. James Scores is having technical difficulties, but Joe Marks is here.
What has happened in Philadelphia?
Frank Finnegan.
Good morning, people.
Damon Salim.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy snowy Saturday.
You know it. And Dave Yarnell.
How's everybody doing? Happy snowy Saturday to you too, sir.
It's awesome out here. Awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed the new intro. Thank you, Al Zafari, for that one.
That was kick-ass. That was kick-ass.
Before we get into the business at hand, let's get into some of the fine sponsors for the program. Popple Brand, virtual business cards, a little pod on the back of your phone, a little band you can wear on your wrist. Once you hold your phone over it, it'll take them right to a website that has all your social media links, your payment methods, websites, and anything else you can imagine that you can attach there. If you head on over to my Facebook page, check out my bio. There's a link in my bio, and if you use the promo code Tom Kelly, you get 20% off your order today. Let's get into the EOP weekly schedule. Mondays, you got the Broad Street Bullies podcast, Talking to Fly Guys. The Monday mailbag with Joe Sheeran. Tuesdays, Talking Philly Sports with Matty B. He had Jamie Baskow on this past Tuesday. Wednesday, 7 p.m., Philly Press Box Radio with Jim Chesko and Bill Furman. They had Tom Moore on this week. And Wednesdays at 9:30, the big show, the Edge of Philly Sports Show with Big Al, Joey Sheeran, and Freddie Burns. Thursdays, Birds IQ with Kyle Quinn at 7 p.m. Fridays, Matty B doing the Friday podcast yesterday. You got to check that out. It was pretty awesome. And then you got us on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Breakfast with the Boys. All you lacrosse heads out there, nobody in the business does it better than Kevin and Gary over at Lax Philly. Live shows coming soon, articles, videos, and much more over at edgeofphillysports.com. Philly sports trips. There's a lot coming up with Philly sports trips, so we're going to get right into it. Spring training trip, March 14th through 19th. Ultimate LA basketball trip, March 23rd through the 27th. Flyers hockey trip to Nashville, March 26th through the 29th. And the 2022 NFL Draft in Vegas, April 27th through the 30th. This next one, Frank, you might be interested in this one as long as me well. Philly Sports Trip, Scotland Golf Trip, the British Open, July 13th through the 19th. Head on over to phillysportstrips.com to check out these and all their amazing trips. Nobody in the business does it better than Vince and the guys over at Philly Sports Trips. Good morning, boys. It's a little snowy out there today.
Yeah.
I hate this snow. I'm a truck driver. I hate the damn snow.
Same.
Yeah, I hate the damn snow. I hate it.
Well, used to be, but
yeah. When I was 10, it was awesome.
Yeah. No,
Break out the sleds, gentlemen. Break out the sleds. Let's go.
I'd pick up my shovel, go out and make money. Start shoveling sidewalk. I mean, you grew up in the city too. I mean, it's just
the guy in the middle screen. We used to go out and double team pavements all
made
all day long.
load of money.
Go make some money, Joey.
$200-$300 a day like this.
So what we would do is we would listen to KYW, listen for your school number.
Yep.
Right.
So
They never called my number.
Do you remember your school number, Dame?
453.
All Philadelphia public and parochial schools are closed, but they would get this.
Nope.
Actually, my school did give us a number. I just couldn't.
That was so long ago. It was probably like 3 or 4.
KYW would go. They would go. KYW would say 451, 452, 454, and skip over 453 every single time.
Hey! I went to Roman, so my number was 1.
We would shovel.
Are you sure it wasn't 0, 1, or 1?
1.
I don't know. We got a lot of trophies in our case, brother.
Mom would say, "Start walking."
They were stepping. No, we would shovel snow like you guys and make money. But then after we made our money and we ate, we played tackle football in the street because it was snow.
Yeah.
That was the capper. You get up, find out school's closed, you make your money, you eat, and come out and play tackle football for the rest of the day, man. It was awesome.
Then you go back and get your soup and call it a day.
I live.
Exactly.
Hey, Dane, you ask Joey about how his knees are feeling after playing tackle football with me in the snow.
Oh.
Me and another friend of ours high-load him one day, and he hadn't been right.
Yeah, well, I lived right near the Parkway. I lived right near the Parkway, and when we were done, we always did our sledding on the art museum steps.
Yeah,
and it was
nice.
it was like launching ramps. You know, you go down like 10 steps and it would launch you down. I mean, it was awesome. And the back of the art museum was great for sledding.
Right,
Crazy.
everybody, hold on. I got one of these real quick, Joe Marks. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got one of these real quick, and I won't do any more during the day. It's shameless plug time. Have you thought about getting yourself an Edge of Philly sports mug? Ladies and gentlemen, head on over to edgeofphilly.com, go to the shop, get yourself a mug, red line, really nice. I'm out of coffee anyway. But,
you are a product whore.
That was awesome.
You're a product whore.
Let me tell you about the first commercial read I ever did, and Joe Marks knows about this. The first commercial read I ever did was Blue Chew. I did Blue Chew. Before
Blue Chew,
Fanatic and WIP and all that stuff. John Crichton over at Last Out Media, the owner over at Last Out Media, a good friend of mine, came to me and was like, I got a commercial read. I don't know if you're going to want to read it or not. I was like, I will read anything. I took it. I was like, great. As I didn't even get through the read, and my phone's blowing up. Bing, 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 bing. All my boys are hammering.
That's awesome.
The next read I had was about weight loss. I said, okay, what the hell are you people trying to tell me? Yeah.
Wink, wink.
The next one would have been Rogaine, but we were saving up for later.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
That would have been perfect.
You could go. I had to mute myself. Let's get into some talk real quick. I want to kick it off with the Flyers today. I've been neglecting them purposefully. Our Flyers expert James Scores is having technical difficulties. I think the snow.
Where is he when we need him?
Directly on his
sent out a text.
He's being censored by the Flyers.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Tell him to use his iPhone. Tell him to use his phone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's using.
That's what I'm doing.
I will actually text him that in a moment. Flyers chairman Dave Scott said Wednesday, Chuck Fletcher will be given a blank check to turn the team around. What are the first three moves you make if you are the Flyers GM? Dave Yarno, I'm going you first on this one.
You're coming to me first on this? Oh, my.
What three moves would you make?
Well, you got to get – I think the captain's got to go. Honestly, it's time for him to rule. Joey, yes, I know. I'm a Drew guy, but it's time for him to roll. It's time. Just defensive wise, I don't even know where to start, DK. I really don't know. I mean, this team is they're not fun to watch anymore. I just don't know where to go with this. I really don't know. Goaltending, is it Hart the problem? I don't know. Is he? I don't think so. I just don't, I think JVR can go. JVR can go. His time here is up, I think.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. He heard Flyers and he had to get in here.
See, yeah. Help me here.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
We're here.
That's the best goal since the Flyers ever made one in recent weeks.
This is true.
Oh, my goodness, James. So I'm going to hit you with the same question I just hit Dave with. Flyers chairman Dave Scott said Wednesday, Chuck Fletcher, will be given a blank check to turn the team around. What are the first three moves James scores and makes on this Flyers team?
That's interesting because I think the one thing you got to do with the team, like if you want to make a rebuild, you got to get rid of the captain. I mean, his time is up. Plain and simple. I think the one thing you got to do, and I think the other thing too is that you got to start. You got to start basically. You got to start younger than starting. Like getting older for him. So yeah, you got to get younger more than anything.
Good morning, Coach. What's going on? Yeah, James, I definitely think an injection of youth would help for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not coaching. Is it coaching, guys? I mean, really, is it really coaching? I mean, because you can have the best coach in the world in here. I don't think it's going to matter. Just me,
I don't agree, but all right.
All right, Joe Marks. We have you not agreeing, which I always enjoy. What if your Flyers GM Joe Marks? They waived your ban. They allow you back in the building since the first time and since 2006 when the Flyers had the worst record in the history of the Philadelphia Flyers. You're allowed back in the building. They make you general manager. What are the first 3 moves Joe Marks would make to try to turn this team around?
I would trade Claude Giroux first off, and there's already been talks. When Fletcher was asked in the press conference, is there talks about Claude Giroux? And he said, no, there's no teams that are interested. I think that's a bold-faced lie. I think that's a bold-faced lie. I think that it's going to be up to Claude and his agent of whether or not he wants to be moved. And that's going to be kind of up to him. But Claude needs to go. Regardless if you ride him out to the end of the year or not, he has to go. I also think that I agree with the whole JVR. I like JVR. I'm a fan of JVR, but his salary is a lot for a guy who's not, performing. I also, unfortunately, think that this is going to be about a coaching regime change, like an overhaul. And I feel like this is where I disagree with Dave. When we had quality coaches like Laviolette here, and when we had quality coaches like him, and I consider John Stevens a quality coach.
You do?
Yeah, I do. He won a Stanley Cup 2 years after he got fired. So yes. I do.
Okay.
So the thing is that this is an organization that gives up on coaches or doesn't make the proper hire. Now, James can help me with the pronunciation of this guy's last name, but the guy who was the former Rangers head coach is a guy I'm really high on.
Who's that? What's his name?
Tortorella, John Tortorella.
Tortorella.
Oh, John Tortorella. Okay.
So that guy I'm very, very high on because he motivated a Rangers team that shouldn't have had any chance at the playoffs. Motivated them to get into the playoffs and make noise in the playoffs.
I don't think motivation is going to help this team.
I think it's going to have a big impact because right now the coach has no voice because the captain is kind of like the engine to this machine. And if he's
Joe, you just lost 13 in a row. Where's the motivation? I don't get it.
There isn't any from your captain.
Where's it come from?
I look at this from I got a different view than this than you guys. I'm not as emotionally attached to the Flyers as I am to any other team in Philadelphia. And I look at this team and I go, the fish is stinking from the head down. And I fire everybody and rebuild
you're cleaning house.
this organization from the ground up and change the culture entirely, because what I believe and from what I'm seeing, it's the culture of this team in the front office that keeps this team from winning. And because they don't make decisions they're supposed to make, and they make decisions by just throwing money at it. And you at this point you can't just throw money at it. There has to be a complete polar shift in how they do their business off the ice, because it shows on the ice there's no results. I mean, you can't just keep changing coaches and getting rid of players and think you're going to fix this. It's the problem is way, way, way deeper than that.
So just
to add that the times that I've watched them, and it's like a constant. They're always on their the back of their skates in terms of always on their heels, if you will, on the other team's side of the ice, and it's like a constant. And so when you look at that, I know someone just mentioned
5 years behind everybody.
Yeah, and so I think Dave might have just threw it out there. Is a hard no, because he's young. So you start the rebuild, like Frank said, and I agree. You do with any rebuild, you have to have a starting point. So he's your starting point, obviously, right? And I'm totally in agreement. Everyone's in unison to saying, yeah, Giroux, let it go. You'll be enamored years from down the line if some Monday night game or whatever. But it's time to move on because what's happening is this is a loyal fan base in the sense that you're going to start losing that. So
it's already happened, Dame. It's already happened. Yeah. Attendance is down big time this year.
So now we all know at the end of the day it's still a business, and now the pockets are affected. And then, they're not being talked about on sports talk radio when they at least had a spot, right? Because they were in the playoff run. So you don't even have that. So moving forward, if they come out, make some moves, obviously not this year, start cleaning the house, you have a new product to sell moving forward. I know they just put this kid up, James. I forget his name. 6'6" forward. I think he came up the other night. I don't know if it make a difference, but
Yeah, I mean,
for the general manager, for the general manager to sit there in a press conference and say, "Oh, we're 2 pieces away."
No, we're not.
What boozes
away? We're
not with the Bakers doesn't losing streak. You're not.
We're more than 2 pieces.
We're far more than a couple of pieces.
Well,
away.
It just tells you that the problem is systematic. The problem is systematic. It's not on the ice. I mean, that's just the end result.
2 losing seasons in a season. 2 plus losing streaks in a season. That's unheard of.
Where
in any sport.
Guys, before we start, hello, Norm.
Norm Deal over at Deals on Wheels Auto.
What's up, Norm?
St. Clair, PA. My man Norm, his wife Sabrina, his son Austin. Great human beings. They watch our show in the lobby of their auto mechanic shop every single Saturday. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Fuji checks in, says the Flyers front office should go. I don't disagree. Something's got to change. And it could be that. Also,
right,
Anthony is checking in. Anthony's checking in on Facebook saying, get rid of Giroux, JVR, and the other lazy players. Bring in a veteran coaching staff with intensity like a Tocchet. The problem is the players are lazy and clueless because the coaching staff don't make the players take responsibility for playing like shit.
There's no accountability. There's no
accountability. Joey, I'm going to say this one time. I don't care if Drew gets traded, and that's fine with me. I just want him to go somewhere where he can win because he deserves to win. That's all I'm going to say.
Why does he deserve to win? What has he brought to
the
team?
He's been on this team forever, and it's just time for. I think he deserves to go on a winning squad, to go on a winning team. That's how I look at it.
It's interesting to me. Go ahead, James.
I think the other thing that Drew has to do is, if you want to trade him away, you got to get talent for him. You got to Like Montreal's a good one of those prospects that are tanking very badly. Maybe you trade him to there and bring in somebody like Caulfield from another upcoming star and bring him in to fill Giroux's spot. But then again, you can't rely on one guy. I mean, I would rather just get draft picks too, kind of like what we did with Wentz, and say that we can trade Giroux, and then 1 minute we trade this guy and the other guy.
Right.
I don't want anybody in this front office making any deals right now because I don't think they have a clue of what they're doing. And if you're going to rebuild this team and you're going to trade away the talent you have on the ice and you get value back for it, I'm sorry. You have to have a cultural change because
James, when's the All-Star break?
3 weeks from now?
No, actually next week. It's literally.
Is it next week?
Yeah.
And isn't our captain in it?
Yeah, because they have to pick one guy from each team.
Okay, so I guess where I'm going. But where I'm going with this is
participation award.
But where I'm going with this, Joey, is I get it. But is he going to be here after the Joey? Is he going to be here after the All-Star break? Is my question.
Yes.
Yes, he will be.
Yeah,
he will
because they overvalue. He's overvalued.
No, that's
not just that.
That would definitely be an off-season move. You're not going to move him.
Okay, you're not going to do it during the season.
Off-season move because
trade him to Vegas and get Alex Pietrangelo.
Yeah, but here's the thing, James. He's got to sign off on it.
Right.
Okay.
He's got to sign off on it.
Right.
And if he doesn't sign off on it, then nothing happens.
Right. Yeah. And thanks, Al. I appreciate the kind words. But no, the thing is that to Joey's
spitting fire
makes a good point, is that one, and Dave has a point. He's been in this town for a long time, right? So And it's ironic because we have another guy, which we'll get to later, I'm sure, probably won't be moved, but that's for another moment because I like this Flyers talk. Whereas though Giroux, you can't move him before any trade deadline. One, Joey makes a great point because of the no trade clause. But two, it has to be a meeting, and James knows this, of the minds where we're saying, what's the best situation for you to give yourself an opportunity to win? So that's not going to happen there. But I'm going to go back to what Frank said. And a lot of times we as sports fans, and now us, speaking, being on this side of it, if you will, we have to learn to separate ourselves, right? So I would like to see the Flyers, because I think they were teetering like trying to be the old Flyers before Mr. Snyder
always
passed.
Yeah.
And then they have this corporate running, the franchise now. But to not only clean house, but go outside the organization and pull someone with an identity. I don't know if it's the Boston Bruins. I don't know if it's the Devils. Whoever has a consistent winning track, try to pick someone from that tree.
Yes.
Not just on the coaching staff, but more of the general manager, president staff, so that you can move this thing forward. Listen, man. Listen.
Here's how I would start my talent search. Mm-hmm. If on your resume anywhere exists at one time you were part of the Flyers organization, you are automatically disqualified.
Eliminated.
Because they're way too provincial. They go back to what they're comfortable with. They have to get rid of that.
Right.
They have to get rid of it because it's destroyed this team. It's absolutely destroyed
when
this team.
Frank,
when you say
did you hear the criticisms that have been out that Bobby Clark threw out in an interview about Ron Hextall? I mean, he came at Ron Hextall's throat, saying that about all the mistakes that Ron made and the missed decisions and missed draft picks that he made when Ron was the GM and president. Bobby Clark went completely at him, and I completely understand. I completely agree with Frank in the sense that we have to go against the grain versus what we're typically adjusted to going with ex-Flyers players.
Pull the chain and flush it down.
And Joe, a Bobby Clark should be the man in the mirror because he should not fire Mike Keenan because Mike Keenan was a good coach back then, and it was an ego. It was about his ego. Keenan goes on to win. Are you kidding me?
No, I agree. I agree. It's the pot calling the kettle black.
I like Bob. I mean, Bob Clark's an icon as a player, but as a general manager and all that, he was not very good.
I agree.
We got rid of Laviolette too soon, too. It's just we gave him after 6 games.
I
was a Lavi guy. I like Laviolette. I did. I like Peter.
Yeah, I did too.
James, he's like one of my all-time favorite Flyers coaches, Lavi.
That's for damn sure, man.
He reminded me of one of those old actors from the 50s, the 40s and 50s, like that look, that distinguished the Clark Gable era.
What's the problem now? What's the problem now, dude? Come on, man. I love guys like that.
I can read his look when it was 2010 when he was looking up on the screen. He said, "You only need one goal," and just like that.
He looks like he would slap the piss out of somebody if he.
TK. I was a Hitchcock. I was a Hitchcock guy there too. I liked Hitchcock.
I like Ken too. I do.
I was a Ken guy.
I should say.
Ken was nice.
Ken was good.
So listen. So the fans are starting to let the management know in the only real way, other than booing, that the fans can let the management know that they're not happy, and that's by not showing up.
Don't show up.
When was the last time you remember this fan base showed their displeasure by not showing up? Now, everyone here and anybody listening who knows Philly sports knows the Flyers fan base is just a bit different. They're built a bit different than the rest of the 3 major sports teams.
They are.
Just a little bit.
They built a bit different.
Ask Joey. He knows.
They're just a little bit.
I remember for 15 years.
I remember when Joey mushed the team. It's 16 years now, pal. I remember when Joey mushed the team in 2006. And I do remember, other than Joey, fans weren't showing up to the games. Maybe if we had less Joeys and more other fans showing up, things might have been different in 2006.
Joey's name's still on the bathroom wall. You kidding?
No, it's you dry out the urinal and then you write his name in a Sharpie, and then never mind. So
there's a picture of Joey in the bathroom.
Why do we get from the flyer to urinal?
Wait, the picture is of Joey in the bathroom, or of Joey's pictures in the bathroom?
Joey's pictures in the bathroom.
All right, as long as it's not a picture of Joey going to the bathroom.
I saw one. No. I saw one.
Where did this go?
Joey's on the wall.
Here's the rails. Here we are over here. Okay, we're already off the.
I walked in. I see Joey right there.
Listen, I liked him too. Look,
there weren't many. The urinal? Claude Giroux. That's who belongs in the urinal.
Yeah, Claude Giroux.
I heard they're going to start putting his face on the urinal cakes, Joe.
Oh, stop!
They should have been doing that for 2-3 years.
Stop!
But unfortunately, they're not
next to Joey's too.
They smell like trash. Anyway,
stop.
Listen. A 13-game losing streak is bad enough. As Dave was saying earlier, 2 10-game losing streaks in the same season. You figure that's 20 games right there. That's a quarter of your season. In 20 games, you lost. That's hard to do.
And what's disturbing about it is you have. I mean, that is complete failure on every level. And like I said, you have the manager saying, "Yeah, we're 2 pieces away." I'm sorry, you're smoking dope, dude. You're done.
Well, they have excuses like they have, goals.
Wow. All right, listen. I am literally depressed. James Frattoni, my man, always checking in. What's up, James?
I didn't think it was possible to lose 10 and 13 in one season, but I don't know.
I don't know. That's a fly. Listen, we got to get out of it. We got to get out of this rut. We got to get away from the
But it's so funny. Like it's so funny. I'll be talking to James during the game. Like, oh, they're playing good. They're actually, you see the effort. You see the effort. And James is like, not happening.
Before we leave this, I want to say, Jason Martinez, if you still have the balls to come on and defend Claude Giroux, I invite you onto the Pattison Ave Phanatics, because I'll torch you like I did at the Victory Brew Pub.
I try to stay positive with them, but it's hard.
It's tough. Up in that ass, Joey.
So, Joe, I have a question real quick.
Uh-oh.
What have they given up more goals than their losing streak? Or is it just about the same?
It's close.
Oh,
it's close. Joey, I have a question. Joey, real quick, I have a question. Is it time to change the orange and black colors? Maybe that'll change some stuff.
No, because we're not going to take the blue and silver.
Look, I'm just asking.
No, because orange and black, while right now we're angry at it, Joey and I and myself and James is, I believe, alma mater. Well, not when James was in it, but when Joey and I were in it, or orange and black at St. John Newman. Would you guys like me to sing the fight song right now? Hold on, let me get my.
No.
All right, cool. So on the.
You're gonna start the morning singing? No.
I'm saying if you guys are taking this all out and saying, if you guys are saying it's time to change everything, you might as well just change the uniforms too. Why not?
What are we gonna make the uniforms, Dave? Silver and blue?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying
he's hitting around.
If you're taking the trash out, go with it. The whole thing.
You want us to call them the Cowboys too? And then
did I say that? No. I'm just saying.
Hey, unless the Flyers build a White House down by the complex, then maybe we'll think about this stuff. Tim Sawicki just told me, do not sing.
Yeah.
All right, understood.
Do not sing.
We will not do that. All right, so let's transition into a team that at least is doing the building that they're in a better solid than the hockey team. So once again, we've had another issue, and I'm going to get into the Philly fans again because stuff like this irks me. As a fan, you have every right to boo, to go back and forth, to voice your displeasure when you cross a line of saying something. And I don't know all the particulars, and I don't have all the things, but from what I've heard, you got to keep it out of the realm of insulting a person because of your gender, your race, your religious beliefs and stuff like that. I don't think that has any room in sports.
No.
Now take the Carmelo Anthony incident out of the picture. The fan that got into it with Russell Westbrook a few years back. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. Russell was going to him. He was going at Russell. A little flip-off action. I'm totally cool with that. Mm-hmm. Out of the millions of Philadelphia sports fans, there's like 7 that give us a bad name. 7.
Only?
There's not. Look. There's in the grand scheme of things. I realize my numbers are very skewed, Dave. But
hey Tom, I got to drop off for a minute. I got to reset.
Yeah. You got it. No problem, Frank. Right. Frank will be back with us in a minute. Dave, you have a very unique perspective. Being a Cowboys fan, but also being a 3-for-4 guy.
Right.
When, in your opinion, when does it get too far? When does a fan cross the line? And then I'm going to kick it to Damon and move it around the table.
When he starts cursing at the player and telling them to do this and do that, I just think that's wrong. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not making that.
You can hit him with booze, you suck, all that.
You can, right, but don't start cursing at him and tell him that he sucks and he's not, he's not a good player. You can't go that far. That to me, that's just wrong.
Says my math is as bad as my singing. Thanks. Thanks, Swick. And Alred, 6 of those 7 are on the screen. So, Dane, you've been a Philly sports fan all your life. Mm-hmm. When do you think look? Because I'm sure you've booed before. I'm sure you've made it known, voiced your opinion. What's too far and what's completely acceptable in your opinion?
Yeah. Well, first of all, did you see who they were sitting? I'm not getting kicked out of those seats. Are you those in
hell no?
4 a piece or more?
You paid a pretty penny for that seat.
Yeah, maybe 1,000. So that right there, TK. I'm going to have fun with the players. I'm going to heckle, but I'm not going to do something. Talk about your mom, your wife, your kids. Right. Oh, you're having a bad night. I'll keep it going, man. We're going to get you stuff like that. Keep it, make it fun. But when you start taking it personal, first of all, these guys are built in a different way. You can't do a quarter's worth of what they're doing on the court. I always say to myself, I share this with you guys. When I'm watching the game, I try to put myself in their seat, but I'm 9 out of 10 times I'm bending my elbow, sipping on the beer. So I said to say, they're out there the ones up and down the court. So you to hone in on it, you just can't take it to where it gets personal and be damned to get kicked out of those seats, man. That was just dumb. When I saw that, I'm like, dude,
he's banned. They're banned for life.
They're banned for life. They're banned for life.
Yeah, but if you're
they have a history too. I found out they have a history.
But if you're the professional athlete, you have to act like a professional athlete. You cannot. I mean, just ignore it. Just play. Whatever they're saying, who cares?
It's got to be hard after a while, Dave, because these guys here night in and night out.
But you're getting paid $1 million to play basketball. Who cares what the guy? Who cares what the guy in the first row has to say? What's it matter?
What did he say though? What were they?
I have no idea, but
I thought Carmelo took it a little far. But
just play.
But the thing,
there was something said by the fan, and I listened to Angelo the other morning, and he quote unquote had the fan that got thrown out, and he basically
said,
yeah, he quoted the guy quote unquote said that he told Carmelo that you're playing like a little boy. Now that may not come off to some people like bad context, but there's one word in there you should not have said. And name
boy,
you're yes, you do not refer to any black man as a boy.
Yeah.
Nope.
You don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
So,
good point.
Yeah, but in the context of the comment,
I don't think he's like that.
He's not calling him a boy.
Yeah,
I understand that. I understand that, but sometimes, especially for Carmelo, maybe now think about this. What if the only thing Carmelo heard was
that?
Boy?
Yeah.
and then hear the rest of the context. So now you're reacting as a black man to being said, to hearing that from a white fan. You're going to react. It's just
so it looks like Matthew Harris checks in. He said supposedly the guy from the game called 97.5 the Fanatic and said that he just called him a little boy. Joey, I understand exactly what you're saying, the context of it and what Carmelo may or may not have heard. We as fans, you have a responsibility to be mindful when you're out there, and things can be it can be totally harmless, but the way or what you say, depending on what it is, how it's heard, there's you have a responsibility to be mindful.
And let me say this. So I remember I just said I thought Carmelo took a little. I didn't know that was said to him. And in the climate that we're living in today, that actually adds a little bit more to it. And I hear you, Dave. The thing about life, like, so we're men, right? And fathers, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, men. So it's like, I know me personally. It's how you speak to me, be it my boss, anybody. Like I'm really, and it's not that's not even a race thing for me. It's just me being a man, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of how I don't allow. This comes from my grandmother. She said, "Don't allow anyone to talk to you in a disrespectful way, your boss or otherwise." I've actually gotten fired from a job because the supervisor went off on me, and I confronted him about it, and I was like, no, man, you cannot talk to me like that. I've been a boss before. I'm not going to talk to any of you guys disrespectfully, no matter what's going on. There's a way to talk to people. And I think that we can have fun. I would have taken, if he had said you playing like a little bitch, that would have been better.
Yeah, it would have been.
That would have been more acceptable. Okay, well, whatever. But to hear that, it's like, nah, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
it's
like TK said, we gotta be mindful, man.
It's the climate of the world today for sure.
Yeah.
Melo was also in a bad mood because Meek Mill was out there with his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's some good insight. That's some good insight by you, Joe Mark.
Joey,
look at you. Look at Joey with the dirt.
Yeah, Joe, that's some quality insight there, Joe.
Hey, Frank, before you came on, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not blowing those seats, man.
No, man.
Like $1,000 $10,000 a piece.
No, and he lost. They lost that money for a year. They ain't giving him that money back.
Nope.
That's it.
That wasn't their first rodeo. They had done that before to other people. They said
they do the same. They do the same thing to Eagles fans. If you do something nasty, you're on the bottom low and paid for a seat license, and they throw you out and ban you. That's it. You lose the seat license. That's it. You're done. To be fair,
Wells Fargo kicked him out, but the NBA requested Wells Fargo to kick him out. They requested Comcast Spectacor to kick him out.
Well, so that was the NBA's deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The NBA
no,
said,
Joey, for somebody who's not allowed in that building, you sure do have a lot of knowledge of what's going on. You
know what's going on in there.
You better not be sneaking down there behind my back.
TK, he's sneaking in. We don't know about it.
I worked security down there. I still have connections down there, man.
I remember your brother used to get us into events and stuff all the time when we were kids.
Nice.
TK, what was that question? TK, what was that last question we just?
Hold on, Sean Kilran. I hope I said your name right, Sean. Here, let me put it back up real quick.
Joey TMZ.
Al says Joey TMZ. He said. Sean says this question is: do you think these guys in the NBA today could compete with the teams like Detroit's Bad Boys?
No.
With Lambeer, Rodman, guys like Barkley, Mahomes.
Not even close. No way.
Guys, it's a different game. They play. They play
the athleticism of today's athletes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I honestly think you could take some of today's bench players against some of back in the day starters, with the exception of the greats, and just on sheer athleticism. Guys like Lambeer are in the locker room at halftime having a beer and smoking a cigarette. That's how they used to do it back in the day.
I'll tell you what.
George McGinnis.
I'll tell you what those old school teams would do to these kids. They would beat the bitch out of them.
Yeah, they would.
They would.
They would. Dude, that Lambeer, he was a nasty dude, man.
You got to factor in flagrant fouls was the birth of that, right? Because those guys, the Lambeers and all that. So that's when they came up with the flagrant foul because of those guys. And because today's players are so athletic, what would happen is they don't want those guys to get injured like that, man. That was brutal. I mean, it was
flagrant fouls now are considered like a push, like an inconsequential push. Think about like Bill Lambier elbowing you in the face. Like he'd get kicked out now.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's why that's the reason why they came up with the flagrant foul. Listen, I lived in New York during those Knick Heat days. Woo! Man.
Yeah, but Dame, nothing beats the bad boys from Detroit. Come on now.
Nah, but those Knicks, Frank, those were some rumbles, dude. Yeah. Like they were some those dudes. And then when Pat Riley leaves the Knicks to go to Miami, that made it even worse.
You know what? You know what you should think?
You know that Knicks team to be physical like that. Anthony Mason,
Charles Oakley.
Those dudes are like brutes.
In today's game, Moses Malone would have fouled out in the first period, first quarter.
You know, like conditioning wise, guys like Karl Malone would have been able to hang with like these guys today. Now the style of his play is different, but you know,
Dave,
those bad boy Pistons, Dave, those bad boy Pistons. You thank them for one thing. They turned Michael Jordan into even more of a monster than he already
was. Yes, they did.
Because he had to become that in order to beat them.
Yeah. Dame, Horace Grant, Dame. Horace Grant, baby.
That was a great era of basketball. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, wow. You know,
it was a different animal. You can't
No, I was just gonna say hockey doesn't have that many fights like they used to back in the day.
No.
Well, they knew they were losing audience.
Yeah, James, what's up with that? Where's the fights in hockey anymore? You don't see them.
They lost audience. They were losing audience.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, look. the hardcore hockey fans want to see that. They want to see chicklets on the ice. But the casual fan doesn't tune in for that. You know,
I've seen a few here and there, but nothing like. I mean, it doesn't like not all the time. I mean, it's like very rare.
Hockey. It's my kind of hockey.
But hockey had to change. Hockey had to change its MO to get national contracts because they couldn't sell that on television.
Frank was reading my mind.
It's just like, okay, I mean, but hockey was like built with fighting. I mean, ever hear of the Broad Street Bullies? I mean, I was watching a documentary.
I understand it.
Literally 2 days ago.
Yeah, but it's not the 70s anymore, James. It's people used to feed off of that like rabid dogs, and it's just
the NHL, like every other professional league, saw what the NFL did, and they said, if we're going to get our piece of the pie here, if we're going to get our money, we have to make this a more streamlined game. You can't have it more streamlined and have guys beating the hell out of each other and making blood all over the ice. It's not going to sell. People don't want to see that. The casual fan doesn't want to see that.
Frank, you were reading my mind because it boils down to corporate. So what happens is, James, if Claude Giroux
it's all about the money, baby.
And Crosby takes off the gloves, that's 5 minutes of airtime that now TNT has lost to a fight because I got to air another game, right?
They
focus on all that. You're thinking like Claude Giroux knows how to take off his gloves.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to think, like, if you want to look at it, it comes down to corporate, which Damon just said absolutely right. To that, look at what happened to the Philadelphia Eagles after Jeff Lurie took over. Yeah. Look at what used to happen in the stands compared to what happens today. Now there's still fights, but
not as much.
We all know that the seating licenses were put in place to cut back on a lot of that BS.
Yeah,
and it was the change of the guard from back in the day, the 700 level. We fed off of that moniker. We fed off of everything that the rest of the league thought we were. Jeff Lurie came in and was like, "That's not going to be this team anymore."
We had a courtroom in our stadium.
Joey, I know what the Flyers need. Joey, I know what the Flyers need. I know what they need. You know what they need, Joey? The Philadelphia Spectrum. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back. Bring it back.
All right, listen. While we're talking basketball, I want to touch on something. We do like to not just talk Philly sports. It is kind of Philly related, though. But just recently, the 2-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant passing away.
Yes.
Him and his beautiful daughter, and the rest of those folks that were on that helicopter. You know, I just every time you see a video of him, I don't remember that he's gone right away. I forget that he's gone right away. And I mean, let's be honest. Kobe Bryant passed, and the world went to shit because that's right when COVID started. Because I remember seeing in the Inquirer the major headline, and then on the right-hand side was something about virus in China and this and that. And now look at where we're at today.
Guys, real quick,
I still can't taste or smell because I just recently had it.
I had the honor to play against Kobe in high school, so
did you really?
I did.
You mean you had the honor of carrying his jockstrap around?
Well, that too, but he was a Lower Merion. He was a freshman, but he played varsity ball. Right. I was a senior, and he was great then.
Were you on the floor at the same time as Kobe Bryant?
I actually was. Yes.
Wow.
That's crazy, Dave. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's I went to Ridley. He went to Lower Merion, and we played against each other. I did get a chance to play against him. It was like the last 3 minutes, but I got it. So it's all
hey, man. Well, that's dope, man. That's
like you literally stood on the same court as one of the top 5 players of all time.
I did, yes.
Wow. That's an awesome thing.
I can honestly say that. Yes.
I know. Now, if I'm you, if I'm you, I'm telling everybody how I dunked on them.
I don't go that far.
How I was giving them the business. You know, they put me in late and change of pace.
Hey, Dave.
It wasn't one of my better games, guys. I'll tell you that much.
There's no video footage. You can say
we didn't have iPhones out back
then.
Actually,
Dave, if you go on YouTube and look up 93, 94 Ridley High School basketball team, I'm in the video. You'll see Kobe in there. Yes, it's in there.
Oh, we got to find that footage.
Ridley versus Lower Merion.
You dunking on him. That's dope, though.
Oh no, that didn't happen.
Wait. We see you and Kobe on the floor at the same time.
I think so. I think he was in there when I got in there. I think he was.
You got to find that. Kidding me, Dave?
I'm not kidding.
Dave, this could cement your legacy. We need to get this video out here.
Yeah.
Are you running around with a sweet mullet back in the late 80s, early 90s?
Yes, I was. Yes.
I need this in my life.
There's a video in 93, 94 Ridley versus Lower Merion at the very last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Al Safari, Ridley basketball, 93, 94. If you're just hanging out at the house, not doing anything, please find this video, Al, please.
Yeah,
I actually
the last 2 minutes of the game. Yes, I'm in.
Oh my God!
I have a hard time seeing you jump over a credit card.
I shot. Yeah, it wasn't one of my fine moments. But it was an honor to play against him. It was.
No, man, that dude work ethic was amazing. But how about
we lost TK? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man, this show gets better and better, doesn't it?
Don't feel bad. I couldn't jump over an elevator button right now.
TK, but in terms of the Sixers, right? We have something big coming up. So if you don't mind, hear your thoughts on that. February 10th is approaching.
What's that?
February 10th is approaching. So in terms of what direction? February 10th. It's a trade deadline.
What's February? Yeah. Oh, trade deadline. Oh.
We're not going to bring up T25's name, are we?
No, he's not.
I told you, he's Lord Voldemort.
Don't say his
he
name.
who must not be named.
By the way, I wanted to bring this up because Dave brought up the show. I said this to Tom the other day. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics' 4th birthday.
Happy birthday, boys.
Wow.
Happy birthday. That's right, Pattison Ave. We are 4 years old today. We are literally allowed to do nothing. Can't buy cigarettes, can't drive, can't do anything. But we're getting there. 4 years.
Yeah.
It's been wow. I forgot we talked about it. But Joe Scorsa checks in and says, I see Dave jumping like George Costanza wearing Jimmy's shoes.
Right.
Jimmy's going to get you, Kramer. All right, so Damon asked me about the trade deadline coming up and what are the 76ers going to do. Dave, everything we're hearing, I'm sure you're hearing the same thing I am.
I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm sorry.
With the trade deadline.
You guys are rough, man.
With the trade deadline. Hey, look, this is your brother's right here, Dave. If we can't hammer you, nobody can.
I can't get past the mullet.
The mullet.
Yeah, it was there.
I'm sorry.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Yo, in the way back.
He's rocking it like John Kruk. I'm gonna love it.
John Kruk was cool because he was dirty. He had one ball. He didn't even have two balls. He didn't even know what that dude was going to do. And he would just come up to the plate. Like, John Kruk looked like a dude that just rolled out of an alleyway off a heated grate and stepped up to the plate. Yeah, Dave's at least better off than Krucker.
He looks like he stepped out.
Al found it.
Yo, he looks like he stepped out.
Did he find it?
Al, can you load that up in here? Can you load that up in here during the show, Al?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I need Dave, because, dude, Al can pull this video up. Al can make this.
I'm sure he could.
Incredible. All right, so Damon,
I'm not talking about my past at all ever again.
I'm gonna try and derail the train here. As far as 2-5 goes, just rename 2-5 bitch ass, because that's what he definitely is. Hopefully his ass is out ASAP, says Matt Harris on Facebook. Unfortunately, Matt, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we are saddled with this guy until at least the earliest possible is the off season. And then that kind of brings me, so as far as 2-5 goes, Dame, I don't see them doing anything until the off season at least. Now, these Harden talks are really firing up again.
Yeah, I heard that.
Is Morey trying to make a big move? One, Dame, I'm going to start with you. Do you think that he's trying to do something? And two, if they bring in Harden, does that make this team a top contender right away?
Oh, absolutely. It would definitely make them a top. And I was months ago, or last year, I should say, because it was last season when they were talking about that trade. I was like, give Ben a shot. But looking at it now, looking at the way big fella's playing, you want to give him that opportunity to be in the best position to win. But go back to what you say. I don't think that they'll get him before the 10th. I would be highly surprised if that happened. I think that's more of the all season. Looking at the team as it's constructed, I was making a move for a point guard. Because I think they need one, and then keep what they have, and then going and going after. I do believe, even as constructed. But I believe they'll make a move for a point guard that they're going to go further than what they did.
Hey, Dame, I heard something last night that charges are being leveled at the Sixers for tampering.
Now, see, let me tell you about that. That's a bunch of crap. You know why? I tell you guys, I've seen it with my eyes. They all talk.
Yeah.
They're mad. People are still mad at the Sixers for doing what they did with the process.
Oh, absolutely.
And the league has to get over it.
Why do you think the Sixers don't play on Christmas Day anymore?
Yeah, all of that. It's like they,
But I don't
understand
why the NBA is still upset about that. We even as Philadelphia fans have come to terms with the fact that the process was a failure. So
well, here's the thing.
The NBA still hurt?
Speak for yourself. There's no failure yet.
Joey, here's just the hypocrisy. The face of the league, the face of the NBA, they made this kid the face of the league before he even graduated high school. LeBron James clearly said, I want to play with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That means they talk. Yeah. So you didn't tamper with LeBron James.
Oh, you mean the guy that didn't want to show up and play the other day? You mean the guy that the face of the NBA that didn't have the balls to step on the court on Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why that happened? I firmly believe he did it because you guys ain't doing my boy right. So guess what? I'm not playing.
Whatever.
You think? No, I don't think that. No.
That's petty. But if it's true, it's petty.
But he didn't play last night either.
I disagree with that.
He didn't play last night against Charlotte either. So, but so maybe.
Well, that gives my theory.
But the thing about that is they all talk. So with this, he didn't do it. Listen, Daryl Morey's never said he's going after Harding. Wink, wink.
Yeah,
he said that.
No.
He's been on Mike Missinelli. He never.
No, he didn't say that.
He never mentioned that.
No, he never said it. Actually, he can't because if he does say anything, then it is tampering.
Right. Just because Kendrick Perkins goes on the show and says it, that has nothing to do with Daryl Morey. Like that's man. That has no legs.
Kendrick Perkins doesn't have a right to talk about much of anything because his career was much about nothing.
Yeah. He was. Remember he thought he was a brute. He came in as Uncle Groot, and he was nothing.
There's much do about nothing. That's what Kendra Perkin is.
Now, let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
So I think Al might be uploading something for you, Dave.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Look down on the screen.
Is he real?
Dave.
I can't see anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain.
All right.
All
right. I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. I found the clip. I got to clip it down so I can fit it on here.
Oh my God.
It is magical.
All right, Al, we'll bring you back.
One thing I learned from the video, when Dave Yarnold is on the court, nobody is thirsty. Nobody serves the water like Dave Yarnold. That's what I heard.
God.
So I'm going to check it out. I'll be right
Here
back.
we go.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Looking forward to this, Davey.
Dave, turn
looking forward.
Walk away now, Dave.
Even Faith, my daughter Faith says, Dave, she said, Dad, you stink. I'm like, yeah, I know, I had a bad day.
Wow.
I threw an air ball up. What are you going to do?
You can't even get props to your daughter. That's
I had a bad game. I love it, buddy.
Dave, were you the Nate Studfeld of the Ridley team?
What's that?
Were you the Nate Studfeld of the Ridley team?
Maybe.
Wow.
Hey, Dave, I got to ask you a question.
What's that?
Is your daughter an Eagles fan?
No, she's not.
Is she a Cowboys fan?
Yes, she is. Yes.
That's bad parenting, dude.
Hey, I heard that. I've heard that many times.
She's from everything I've heard. She's a wonderful girl. So
yes, Joe. I stepped into it this time.
I don't blame the child. I blame the parent.
Hey.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Listen,
at least with Dave, with his basketball experience, he could probably take over for 2-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
Well, you'd probably get as much production.
I wouldn't go that far.
Can you imagine Dave Stockton running up and down the floor of the Wells Fargo Center?
Oh my God.
But I'm willing to bet.
Grow back the mullet.
Definitely shoot the ball.
Yes, he would.
Not in that game. I couldn't.
Yes, you could. It might get smacked. It might get smacked into the guy's face who was giving Carmelo Anthony a bunch of crap.
But you'd still shoot it.
He'll still shoot it.
Right.
I shot an air ball in that game, guys. Sorry.
Is that on this video? Is that on this video?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Oh, right. This is fantastic. Yeah, it is. Oh.
You can't invent stuff like this.
You cannot. This is not a script that we wrote, okay? I still have this script here. I can't even get to it.
Just remember, Dave opened this door. Dave was the one who had said that he was on the same court.
That's right. You brought this down on yourself, Dave.
You opened this door, Dave.
Right,
sorry, guys. I thought you guys would be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think he was going this far.
No mercy.
Mercy. Dave, we are as technical as it gets in this podcast world. Al Zafari's home right now. He's not at work today, so all he has to do is do a little searching, and if anybody can figure it out, it was going to be Al.
It's Al.
Oh my God.
You know, Al, we might have to integrate this video into the opening.
Oh God. No, please do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We're just about an hour into the show today.
So I'm going to bring it back to the trade deadline.
All right,
do we think that there's going to be any moves whatsoever, whether it's Tobias or Danny Green or anybody?
No, why would you want to trade Tobias?
No, I'm not getting rid of Harris.
Because his value is the highest it's been this whole season.
Nah, but now,
no, he's hot lately. He's playing well.
Right. Now I'm kind of taking the team in another direction. He's playing well. He has a little bit more jump. He's fine. We just need a point guard. Big fella's on fire, man. We need a point guard and a wing.
Does Danny Green get traded?
No.
Okay.
Really? I just get rid of him. I can't stand Danny Green.
I love Danny Green. I love his shot. I just do.
I hate his mouth.
His mouth, okay, but his shot's good. I'll take it.
I don't care. He can go. He says bad things about the Sixers fans. He can go out. Goodbye. Get your ass out of here.
Can't
Can't
I mean,
stand him.
I honestly think Danny goes. I think they'll at least entertain conversations that might happen about Tobias. But here's my thing about Tobias. He's not consistent. So I need more consistency from him. He's having some good games.
He disappears. He disappears.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying consistency, because I'm not saying he doesn't have good games, but it's how often can I expect that? Can I expect him to do that?
If they get a player like Harden here, you won't even pay attention to it. He'll just be an addition to the team.
He'll be the third guy.
Right. He'll be exactly what he's supposed to be.
Right.
He'll be the third guy, and nobody will pay attention to him. And he'll score 17, 20 points a game, and it'll be beautiful because there won't be any pressure on him.
So I agree that at the beginning of the season he has struggled, but in this past month he played well the other night. He played well against the Lakers, of course, and he's giving Joe what he listen. Tobias, I think he was hurt. I think
well, he was
Bob Cooney mentioned it. Bob Cooney mentioned it, and then the other night in his jump shot, you see a better jump, particularly in his 3-point shot. So I think he's starting to get a little bit more healthy. I'm looking at it like this. They've only had their starting lineup, they're like 18-3. Like, they haven't had them a lot. And so I don't want to really start removing players. Like, so they're saying Sacramento's out on the bench. Sacramento stinks, all right? None of those players I want. None of those guys.
Yeah,
they're out.
And they don't give you what you really want from them.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and if you go back to what Daryl Morey's saying, he wants a top 40 guy. Buddy Hield and Fox are not top 40 guys.
No.
I don't care what you want to say.
Right.
You're not doing it.
So
like
that's where my feeling is.
Yeah, but hey, man, they're only like a game and a half out of number one seed. 2 games.
Yeah, but they're tied for first in the division now.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think Joel Embiid is playing, and Frank and Damon and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He's playing Wilt Chamberlain-like basketball right now.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well, actually, I did see Wilt play. And
you did?
Yeah, I'm old enough to see that. I'm old enough to see Wilt play.
Okay, no, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And I got to tell you, it's a different. They're different kind of players. They really are. Nobody in the league could actually, other than maybe Bill Laimbeer, could actually play with Wilt. Russell could, but I mean, there's guys in the league that can play with Embiid that he completely dominates.
Yeah,
and simply because, I mean, at his size, his athleticism is off the chart. And Wilt was a great athlete. He was a great athlete. But I mean, you can't really compare the two. But the impact that he's having is Wilt like in these last 20 games.
That's how.
But until he gets them to change the rules like Wilt did. Wilt had them rewrite the rule book because of the way he played.
Twice, right?
I mean, literally, the key underneath the basket exists because of Wilt Chamberlain. The 3-second violation exists because of Wilt Chamberlain. Until you get a guy that does that.
Oh boy!
Here we go.
All right, so
go get him.
So number one is, unlike typical Cowboys fans, Dave isn't full of shit. So he is telling the truth. I can verify this. The video is legit. I sent it to my guys at NASA. It was not fabricated in any way.
Okay.
So everything's good. So now it's an hour long because it's a game, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. So what I did was I have 2 clips to prove that Kobe was there. So I'm going to start with that one. And he's right in the starting lineup, so I made it real easy. So here you go.
And we're all set to go here. And we're all set to go here. We're going to get the starting lineups right now from Hugh Mooney. We're going to take it over to Hugh right now. And we're all set to go here. We're going to get the starting lineups right now from Hugh Mooney. We're going to take it over to Hugh right now. Starting lineup for tonight, number 24, Kobe Bryant.
Look at Cole.
Yeah.
Cole.
Yeah.
All right. So you heard him say it, right?
Yep. He's there.
All right, so here's the best
seen him, yeah.
So we know Kobe was there.
Yep.
Now the question was Dave Yarnold there? So the answer is yes. The announcer did say his name. I believe you're number 40, Dave. Was that your
Yes, number 40. Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me just make sure this was one clip you were. I believe you had the ball in your hand. Let's check.
And Clarence Shipping knocks down 2 in a row. And the Raiders lead only by 20 with 20 seconds to go. So Serrano making things happen for the Aces, and they trail only by 20.
Dave Yarnold
for 3.
Oh.
That's a brick and a half, Johnny.
Yeah.
But, you like to see him shooting because we all know he can shoot.
That was great, huh?
Was that
Dave.
Dave, that was you throwing that
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my Jesus.
Oh, thank you, God.
Oh my God.
Thank you,
Dave,
God.
I couldn't tell. Was Kobe on the court at that time too?
I don't know if he was or not. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, Kobe was rolling around on the floor behind the bleachers laughing.
Dave, I have to point something out here.
What's that?
That's
if
dope,
you're gonna
man.
like the guys were telling you earlier, you should brag. Like this is something I play on the court with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, it was really
awesome. Also added that brag.
That was awesome.
That your team was up 20 points with
Yeah.
so you guys actually ended up winning that game.
Yeah, we blew him out.
Wow.
Yep, we did.
So you can actually say my team blew out Kobe Bryant's team.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, we blew him
The
out.
fact that you had absolutely nothing to do with it has no
You're all right.
doesn't matter at all.
You actually passed the ball to them with that shot.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
Frank,
you know.
Dave Studfeld still got a Super Bowl ring, so
that's right.
you know.
He does. He does.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dave,
where else?
Dave, that was
where-
awesome.
Where else do you get real-time video, rip it from the internet, edit it, and get it on the show? Right here at Edge of Philly Sports.
In
That's
minutes.
right here.
In minutes. 10 minutes.
I mean, if
Get
you
it up
think
in
about
10
it,
minutes.
if you think
Dave,
about
what
it,
did y'all team do that year? Did y'all make playoffs or anything?
We were essentially champions. We were 23-5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or 21-5.
Dave, I didn't know this.
Yep.
Dave, you could also say you could also say your brick helped build the house.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Sure.
I am out. Enjoy the rest of your
Al Zafari from the Edge of Philly Sports Show on 9:30 on Wednesdays. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Al.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yo,
Thanks, Al.
the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, Dave Yarnold, everyone. Give it up for fucking Dave, baby.
The champ is here.
Dave, that was awesome, though. Regardless of your air ball or whatever. That was pretty awesome.
Yo, you got your name announced? That's dope, man.
Yo, in the same announcements as Kobe Bryant, your name was announced.
That's
I just love the announcer's reaction when you shot the ball. They're like, oh.
They're like, we know he likes to shoot it.
Hey, you like to shoot?
Oh.
I did.
Dave, you definitely looked like John Stockton out there. Like hook, line, and sinker.
I'm like, who does he? Boom. Yeah. A young
John
Stockton at Gonzaga. That was Gonzaga.
Yeah, right.
Wow, that's Gonzaga.
Yeah. Hey.
What a show.
Who was the other guy? Who was the other guy who he kind of looked like that was on that Jazz team? Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek.
Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah, when it comes to the Sixers in the
Jeff
parking
Hornacek.
trade. That guy.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, TK.
Yeah, Frank.
TK, that has to be part of the open now. That,
Oh,
listen,
God.
that
Stop.
airball has
No.
to be Dave's
No,
part.
No, it does not.
Yeah,
Dave,
I'm with
the
Frank.
video in the background
You
of
got
the
the
opening.
announcer. You got the announcer, your name, the
Put
shot,
that up
the
as a
mullet.
highlight.
I love it.
Dave, what an incredible show today. A nice snow day show where everybody's
way,
from the comfort of their own homes.
Yes.
Bring up what like Dave was saying about the Flyers in the Spectrum. There was something I heard as a memory. That now, they brought up a year. The Storm of the Century was 96.
Yes, I was on a cruise.
30 inches.
So when the Spectrum, that window blew out of the Spectrum during that storm during a Flyers game, they evacuated the Spectrum.
Wow.
So just to give you a little bit of a heads up on like snow day situations. And the Flyers game, I'm not sure if it's actually postponed for today or not. But they're
Already
supposed
working.
to go on 1 o'clock. And it's the first time ever in Philly sports history that two different franchises face in the same building a team with the same name.
Wow.
The the Sacramento Kings and the LA Kings.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah. Look at you pulling that stuff.
I'm telling you, I don't like all this. I don't like all this Wells Fargo knowledge that you have. Makes me feel like you've been sneaking down there behind my back. I'm having a serious issue with you if this is the case.
You're
the reason the Flyers went on 2 10-game losing streaks, Joe?
Wasn't that the Super Bowl where the game ended on the 1-yard line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the Super Bowl. That was
Super Bowl against the Rams.
I was on a cruise that week. That storm hit, and I was on a cruise. You guys were digging snow out. I was under a palm tree drinking pina coladas.
Well, I was kind of like Frank. I was living out west, so I missed that one.
Yeah,
that was the Super Bowl. Tennessee and the Rams.
Tennessee Rams, great. That was a great game.
So that's Super Bowl.
I watched that
game with my buddy Stu. He's from the North.
Wasn't that in New Orleans?
Out there with his wife. I remember that.
That was in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was in New Orleans. I thought it was.
All right, so
the captain of our ship kept the boat in close so we could keep the signal for the Super Bowl. I'm serious. We all watched the Super Bowl.
That is a good captain.
That's a good captain.
Yeah,
I like that. He gets
that's very cool. So Blizzard of '96. Let me give you a little perspective here. Growing up in South Philly, everybody knows how the streets are and stuff like that. So I remember when I first got up that morning, I walked down to the corner of my street, and there was a SEPTA bus broke down on Tasker Street. Kids climbed up on the bus, like they built a mound of snow, and were doing like flips off of the broke down SEPTA bus in the middle of the street.
Now, Joey, you used what you got.
Philadelphia.
Joey and I lived approximately a block and a quarter away from each other. Okay, and I called Joey. I'm like, "Yo, let's go out. We'll play around in the snow or whatever." I'll walk down and start meeting you, and he walked my way and start meeting. Now it's like a 50-second walk from, the 1600 block of Marston Street to the 1400 block of Marston Street, which is where Joey and I both live. It took us over an hour to meet in the middle on the 1500 block of Marston Street.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That's how long it took us.
Like an oar.
I have a question. Were you wearing shorts and flip-flops?
I'm sure he was.
I was not. I was not that guy yet. I was not that guy yet. I am today. Like later on when I shovel, if I can get a path out from the front door, I'll keep my flip-flops on.
Oh, you're insane. You're insane.
I walked from 2nd and Snyder to 6th and Morris with my visually impaired friend after the live remote.
I know.
Not being able to see, not being able in flip-flops and shorts. The last snow we got. So,
right. I need one of your neighbors to video you so we can put that up on the site too.
Speaking of videos, real quick.
And the Raiders lead only by 20 with 20 seconds to go. So Serrano making things happen for the Aces, and they trail only by 20.
Dave Yarno
for 3. Oh. That's a brick and a half, Johnny.
Yeah.
Like, you like to see him.
Dude,
nothing but net.
Johnny.
Not a brick. A brick.
He really had that Stockton job.
Nothing but net.
Stockton was trying. Yeah.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Dave, you might consider this razzing, but we're proud of you, dude.
Dave, we are proud of you, sure.
Absolutely proud of you.
I'm telling everybody in Wawa that I know Dave Yarnell now.
Right, yeah, okay.
Proud, we're jealous.
I'm going to tell my kids that was John Stockton.
And you know what? Hey, James, you know what? Your kids would say, Stockton never threw up an air ball.
No.
His kids would say, who the hell's John Stockton?
Now, Joe, Dave, just a little note. This is just me because I work with my son. I needed you to hold your follow through. You would have made it.
Okay.
Exactly, Joe. Just bow. You know what I mean? But you like to shoot, so who am I to tell you that? You already.
Yeah, he needed to elevate a little more too.
Couldn't find a playoff game where I actually made the shot, right?
You know what, Dave? I'm going to need to find out. I'm going to need to find the announcers for this game and get them on this show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to have to do.
I can tell you his name.
Is he on Facebook?
Both of them?
Yes, his name's Sean Mark.
All right, Dave, get tag me in something or send me something on the messenger. I'd like to reach out to him because I want to go a little bit further into this game. Because,
God, stop!
With Kobe playing Ridley, Lower Marion playing Ridley, like this is as hard and as long as we are going to make your life a living friggin' hell for this.
I appreciate it.
you do deserve credit. That is really impressive.
Oh my God,
That's
no.
not, you know how out of all the people in the world, you know, maybe
you have a win over Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
and you won state championship that year. You kidding me?
Yeah. No,
like Kobe and Shaq went on to win NBA championships, but before that, Dave Yarnold held a championship before Kobe Bryant did.
Incredible, Dave. And you got more championships. You got more championships than your Cowboys have in the last 25 years.
Right.
You know what? True. Not only that, I'm going to even venture to say you helped inspire Kobe because you not only beat him that game, like you were up by 20, like Al said, you went on to win the state championship, what made him work just as hard.
Well, we weren't state champs. No, we were Central League champs. We weren't state champs.
All right, Central League, but that inspired Kobe to go out to be the player he is.
There was a newspaper clipping.
I can't let this air
I bet you he never lost by 20 again after that game.
There was a newspaper clipping of Dave's face on Kobe Bryant's mirror.
Right.
And every morning when he gets up and looks at himself, he looks at Dave and says, I can't let myself get as bad as this guy. I have to work.
I didn't think you guys were taking this far, but okay.
Dude, you opened your mouth.
This isn't far yet.
It's over.
This is not far yet.
No.
He said this isn't far yet. He said this isn't
Dave, come springtime. I'm going to have that video clip on my 24-foot screen out back.
Emerson Lincoln Palmer had a song called "In the Beginning." This is it.
Yeah,
this is just the beginning, Dave. All right, real quick, we will get it back to.
We'll get it back.
We'll get it back for a little bit of birds. We'll get 15 or 20 minutes in on the birds.
Yeah.
Dave made Kobe, says Norm Deal. David the Bean Maker. David the Mamba Maker Yarnell.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Mamba Maker.
Oh my God. You're done.
You were a snake. You were
it's over. I'm done.
Dave,
it's over.
No, I just have one more question.
It's over.
This is for TK as well. Do you still have your jersey with the 40? And if you do, can you get a frame so we can put it in the studio? Frank, what do you think?
Yeah,
Frank?
no, we want an autograph.
Yeah.
I want an autograph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave, I know you have that jersey. There's no chance you don't have that jersey.
I don't have the jersey.
You're kidding me.
I don't.
I'm reaching out to Mitchell and S, and I'm seeing if I can get a big boy Yarnell Ridley jersey made. I'll wear that motherfucker in the next 6 days.
I'll bet you there's somebody. Hey, I'll bet you there's somebody in Ridley that can get us that jersey.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'll bet you there's somebody in Ridley that can get us that jersey.
We can reach out to the school. I'm sure
yes.
we can.
Maybe we could take the one that's up in the rafters down. Maybe we can use that one.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Poor Dave right now is sitting there like,
oh my
shit.
God.
Why did I tell them this?
Why did I tell these guys?
Why did I tell them this?
He is looking for the nearest rock to crawl under.
I really am.
No. Let's not crawl under a rock. Let's celebrate Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, Dave Yarn.
And the Raiders lead only by 20 with 20 seconds to go. So Serrano making things happen for the Aces, and they trail only by 20.
Dave Yarn
for 3. Oh. That's a brick and a half, Johnny. Yeah. But you like to see him shooting because we all know he can shoot.
That was great, huh?
Oh my God.
He said we all know he can shoot. Okay, Dave. Get some love.
He just said I'm reaching out to Mitchell and Ness. He just said I'm reaching out to Mitchell and Ness. I'm done. I'm done.
We are going to run with this hard.
Yeah. I mean, we go off the rails.
You know what I might do?
But this one's
God.
I might. Did we lose Dave?
No, I'm here.
No, he's still there.
I'm having technical issues with my stuff, so it's not you guys today. Everything's running a little slow for me. Dave, I might get my son Christopher to go out as you for Halloween in a Yarnell jersey.
Oh God, stop!
No.
Did you see
we
that?
All have to do it.
Yo, did you see the 6'8" guy that let Dave shoot that shot? He could have smacked that ball into the stratosphere if he wanted to, and he let you take the shot.
He got out of Dave's way.
That was nice of that guy.
Commentator gave Dave a lot of credit at the end. He's like, we all know that this guy.
Dave, I'm sorry. Dave, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Dave jumped up and said, "I'm gonna dot your eye and dare you to blink."
Yeah.
I want to know how much Dave paid that announcer to say that.
I didn't.
Wait till I show you. Wow. I'll be in a little bit. That's really good. That's good.
Oh my God.
Yo, man.
All right. Well listen.
This is a rough crowd.
So I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. So
Please.
we won't have much on the birds, until next week. But I'm probably gonna shut it down because I got stuff disappearing on my screen here.
Yeah, what about the games?
How about those games from last week? Okay?
Go ahead. You guys get into them. I'm gonna work on some of my.
I was just gonna say those games they were all. I mean, I know we were texting James, texting I throughout they were phenomenal. Like they
were
actually
fun.
revitalized my fandom as a sports.
I thought my TV was gonna melt. Man. I thought my TV was gonna melt. Those games were so hot last week. I thought my TV was gonna melt.
They were awesome, no doubt about it.
I mean,
what
they were all walk-offs. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
They said that might go down as the best playoff weekend in NFL history.
Yeah,
I found it interesting. I found it interesting that 3 out of 4 away teams won that weekend.
Yeah.
And both number 1 seeds are gone.
Oh, and gone.
Yes.
Yep. Both number 1s are gone.
Even the 49ers Green Bay game, it wasn't like a lot of points, but it was still effective. And that block, when they blocked the punt,
that block punt was awesome.
Awesome. I said this earlier to Frank when we were off air. I said LaFleur said prior to the game that all we have to do is stay inside our game and not let the special teams mess it up for us.
Oops. Yeah, and that's what did it. Well, I mean, it just goes to show you that in the playoffs, when you're playing the other best teams in the league, all your flaws show.
Anything can happen
because they know how to exploit your flaws.
Yeah.
And if you can't fix your flaws, you're gonna lose.
I give Frank. That's an excellent point. I give that league credit. They know how to do, because last week all of the best teams. Like the Eagles didn't belong there. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Look, Dame. The Eagles were the best of the bad bunch. Okay.
Yes.
But as soon as they got to that playoff game, Tampa Bay knew what the Eagles did well, and they took it away from them. They took their best asset away from them. They put 8 in the box, and that was it. They made him beat him. They made Hurts beat him, and he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. And even in that game when they played the Rams, and the Rams are up, and then the dude from the Rams fumble. I'm like, oh my God! And Brady's. I'm like, here we go again.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys. Like
history. Joe Burrow was the first.
I'm a fan.
Joe Burrow was the first quarterback to win a playoff game after getting sacked 8 times since Donovan McNabb did it.
Actually, Joey was 9 times. 9 times.
9 times.
Yeah. And
you mean Donovan lost another record to somebody?
That was Kyle's trivia question.
Yes.
That was Kyle's trivia question on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One of like 5 trivia questions.
One of 5 trivia questions.
We were on fire on Thursday.
Yeah, you guys were on fire.
I mean, just to watch that as a fan of football, and then now here's the thing. I'll get your definitely, Frank. I want to hear your points on this. So I was torn. I'm an Andy. I like Andy. I was torn because McDermott and Leslie Frazier was under his coaching staff here, so it was like dag, right? But what a great game. But I feel like they should change that, particularly in the playoffs. Like Josh Allen deserved at least one more shot to get a chance to win.
Last weekend there were two Andy Reid disciples. You had Sean McDermott and
who I think the Eagles gave up on too soon when he was here. I think they gave up on him too soon.
I agree.
McDermott?
But you're right,
Dame.
To have Josh Allen sit over there, especially how that fourth quarter played out, and not have a shot to go, okay, can he match this? Can he come back and match this?
Do we need to change the OT rules? Do we?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I know it's set up where as though, let's say Kansas City got a field goal, then Buffalo we know would have gotten the ball. But the rule is once you score, if you win the coin toss, you score the touchdown, you win the game.
Yeah, it's like 83% of the time that the team that wins the coin toss wins.
Joe Scorzer was saying the blizzard of '96 that I was dressed like the kid in the Christmas Story, Frank.
Oh wow!
My arms down.
No, the little brother that walked around like this.
Yeah, I can't put my arms down.
I can't put my arms down.
Hey kid. Thanks for that
He got
visual,
stuck
Joe.
on his back like a turtle. He couldn't roll over.
Oh my gosh. Guys, wait up! Guys, wait up!
Yeah, that was a crazy day for sure.
Yeah,
but
a crazy day for sure.
That I still feel like this weekend with the championship games, you're going to see some more excitement because all four of these teams have a lot to play for.
Sure, you are.
I just worry that the Niners and the Bengals are not going to be able to keep up offensively with the two teams.
Yeah, I think they can.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, look,
I believe that the Rams still have enough toes that they can still shoot off by the end of the game. Because they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Right. But I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to stay with Kansas City. I just don't.
I have to say, I honestly, I'm kind of surprised at Matthew Stafford. I thought he was going to be a choke job in the playoffs, and he kind of proved to me like he was just in the wrong place.
Yeah,
like he's a talented quarterback that was in the wrong place.
Yeah,
let's see what he does this weekend, Joey. Then we'll see.
He's already got a victory. He's got more playoff victories than Carson Wentz does.
This is true.
So,
the Rams are a good team. The Rams are a good team. They got a lot of firepower.
Yeah. Rams have a good. Yeah, but the Rams have a good defense. My God.
They do.
And also too, Joey. Believe it or not, Stafford has a lot of comeback victories. That's kind of under the radar, but he's always been a solid quarterback. He's in the wrong situation.
Right. I'm going to correct you, Dave. The Rams have a good defense, but they have the best receiver in the NFL.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper
Kupp. They have the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, but when you got Von Miller and you have what's his name? That's
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. That's insane.
And then you convince Eric Weddle to come out of retirement.
That's insane. It's like
I want Brian Dawkins to come out of retirement just for one game.
But guys,
I miss Doc.
Me too. I missed that whole, and we'll get to that defense. But how about this, man? Kudos to Big Red, man. Dude, 4 AFC championships in a row. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
9 conference championship games. I mean, that's and he's that. Only reason I like Burrows. Cincinnati's like I'm a fan of those guys, but because they don't have an offensive line, and he's going to need one moving forward and with this team.
Here's a question for you. Completely off subject. Here's a question for you. Does anybody else think that Sean Payton is a punk for quitting on the Saints?
The Saints?
I thought Sean Payton was a punk for you.
I mean, after he got him to spend that money on the quarterback position, it didn't work out. Now he's quitting. I think he's a punk.
But yet, Frank, he still has 3 years left on that deal. That's what I can't understand why he's doing this now. That doesn't make sense.
Because he knows it's not going to work and they can't spend any more money. They're cap locked now.
I mean, so I get that. You don't go out on the deal. I mean, I could see 1 or 2 years. I mean, it's a 3-year deal. I mean, you got to at least go 1 more year.
No, I mean, I understand. He should not have left. Period.
Right. That's what. Right.
Concerned.
I agree.
He can't go back. He can't go back and coach another pro team. He's
not until next year. He can't. He can't this next season, but the next season he can.
Oh man, that would be a real kick in the stones for New Orleans. It really would.
Right. Prediction time for this weekend, boys. Prediction time. So, who are we liking out of the Niners and Rams? We'll start with Damon Salim. Who do you like out of the Niners and Rams?
The Niners have beaten the Rams 6 or 7 times in a row, something like that. So yeah, I see the Rams finally pulling off the victory, and then I see the Rams. I'll say 30-23 Rams.
Okay, how about KC and Cincinnati?
Oh, KC. Like I said, I like Burrows and those guys and Chase, but Mahomes and Andy and they're just on fire, man. And Spags has those guys playing defense. 35-17, 35-20 KC.
All right, James, we'll kick it to you. Let's start with the Rams and the Niners. What do you like? Who do you like in that game?
That's tough on me because it's like there's 2 great teams that I like. I guess I can say that I'm going to go with the Rams in the NFC, excuse me. That will be 27-24 Rams. And for the AFC, I got to go with the Chiefs. I like Burrow and Chase, but I think they're gonna be back into the championship game. So yeah, I got to go with. So I got to say 34-23 Kansas City.
Wow. Frank Finnegan, how do you like? What do you like? Niners and Rams.
I see the Niners game, Niners and Rams game being more low scoring than anybody else has predicted. I see that more of like a 2017 game. I see the Rams winning that 2017 because both defenses are pretty damn solid, and I see a pinball machine in the other game. I see, 38-31 in the other game, but I think in the other game the Bengals are going to be throwing a lot of garbage time touchdowns. I think that game's going to be over by halftime, to be quite honest.
Gotcha. How about you, Davey, baby? What do you like in the Rams-Niners?
Rams-Niners. I got 49ers 28, Rams 24.
That's no air ball there. What about the Chiefs and the Bengals?
I got it very close, actually. I got Bengals 31, Kansas City 30.
That sounds like a business up front party in the back type game.
Yes.
The Bengals beating Big Red?
It's going to be 30-28, and I believe that kid from the Bengals is going to kick that field goal to win the game.
Money Mac.
Joe Marks, what are you liking out of the Rams and the Niners?
See, I think if the Niners muck up this game, they have a real good chance of winning this game. And the Rams and McVay always find a way to screw it up.
Yep.
In the end,
they need more toes on their feet.
So my feeling, though, in the end, I always go back to the best primetime game breaker, and that's Cooper Kupp. So I'm going Rams 24, Niners 17.
Okay, how about the Chiefs and the Bengals?
I agree with Frank in the sense that this is going to be a pinball game, but I feel like this is going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. I feel like this is like if you're betting, bet the over. Bet the over with total points. Bet the over. I'm going Chiefs 45, Cincinnati 42.
Wow. Okay, big time game.
I thought that was high.
So Rams and Niners. I can't say it enough that I agree with McVay jacking stuff up. So here's what I would like to see. I would like to see, and my prediction and what I'd like to see are two different things. So I want to see the Niners take this game. I know that would make James's mom happy. I know Joni's a big Niners fan. And then in the next game, for whatever reason, I just got this feeling that the Bengals are going to hang around. And if you let them hang around long enough in this game, I would love to see a rematch of the Niners and Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, that's in the way back
amazing.
That's the way back.
Yeah.
Is that was that the Boomer days?
Boomer and
Boomer in Montana.
Icky Woods,
Munoz,
Icky Woods, Icky Shuffle,
Icky Shuffle.
Ricky Waters.
Yeah.
Ricky Waters.
Was Ricky on that?
No,
Ricky was on that team.
Ricky Waters wasn't.
No. It was Roger Craig.
Was that before Ricky Waters?
Yeah, it was before Ricky.
It was like 80. That Super Bowl was like 83, 84. Yeah, Ricky Waters wasn't.
Something like that.
He didn't wait till the 90s.
And it was Gary. It was Clark.
I mean, sorry, the 80s, not the 90s.
Yeah, 80s.
It was Gary Clark, I think, the receiver. Is it Gary, the receiver? Yeah, Clark was last.
Yeah, Clark was.
Yeah, Montana's first Super Bowl.
Yeah, Clark was the receiver.
Dwight Clark.
Yes. Clark. Yeah.
Yeah, John Taylor, Jerry Rice. I mean,
Ronnie Lott.
Roger.
Yeah,
Ronnie Lott. Yep.
Well, remember, this is the first time Cincinnati's been. This is the first time Cincinnati's been back to the AFC Championship game since '88.
Good for them.
So,
yeah. Yep.
Incredible. Listen, guys.
And still the Cowboys aren't involved.
No, definitely not. An amazing show, guys. It was a great show. Thank you for everyone.
Yeah,
it's like Dave, the Cowboys
chimed in. And real quick before we get out of here.
Oh no! And the Raiders lead only by by 20 with 20 seconds to go. So Serrano making things happen for the Aces, and they trail only by 20.
Dave Yarno
for 3.
Oh.
That's a brick and a half, Johnny.
Yeah.
But, you know, you like to see him shooting because we all know he can shoot.
Great hustle.
Does anybody else
to see him
Does
shoot?
anybody else hope that when that clip shows it, maybe they'll go in this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time.
Sometimes I wish it would.
I'm telling you, they opened the doors to the gymnasium just to make that shot miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a Meadowlands.
So for
Awesome.
Salim, for Frank Finnegan, James Scorza, Joe Marks, and the Kobe killer Dave Yarnall.
Kobe killer.
Kelly. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, and we're out of here. Enjoy the snow today, everybody.
Take care. Be safe.
Big shot.
Be safe.